As usual, we are here on Thursday at 12 p.m. CST every week. We are here every week to share our knowledge with our community. We are a team of finance professionals, CPAs, and chartered accountants. Every week, we are spending so much of time and effort to analyze few topics and bringing to you for your awareness. The objective of these weekly webinars is to bring a lot more awareness so our followers can take informative and timely decisions which can save the money on paying taxes. The every dollar you save is equal to every dollar you are earning. So we are here today to save a few more dollars for you. Today, our topic is amendments, tax return amendments. What you need to know. You might have been filing your tax returns for the last couple of decades, and you might have also done tax return amendments here and there when you find some correction or some adjustment has to be done to your original tax return. Today, we are going to cover about what is this tax return amendment? Why do we need to do it? And what forms has to be filed? For this, with me, our tax director, Abhishek Gandhi, CPA, is also here. Hi, Abhishek. Yes, now he will take the lead and I will add my comments as required. Abhishek, thank you very much for being here. Come on, let's get into the topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. And hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly presentation. So, today we will delve into the world of tax return amendments. Filing taxes can be a complex process. We all know that, and mistake happens. Uh, how many of you realize after filing a tax return that we missed something, or we could do some other way, or we forget to file something or give some documents to your CP? It happens all the time. But what if you realize that you made an error on your tax return, and it's a big mistake sometimes. Don't get panic. Amending your tax return allows you to correct mistakes and ensure accurate filing with both IRS and your state department revenue, DOR, right? So this is not only ensure you are paying the correct amount of taxes, but also help avoid potential penalty down the road. So there are some reasons and why we have to amend tax returns. There are several reasons that you might need to amend your tax return. Today, mainly we will focus on federal amendments and and not so much on state tax returns. But remember, amendment of state tax return is a different ballgame. When you amend state tax return, each state, it has its own amendment process. So before you start amending state tax return, do little homework. Find out which form is appropriate for that particular state. Anyway, let's get back to our federal tax return amendment, because that is the most important amendment. Of course, state is also important, but the most important part is your federal state amendment. And we will talk about some common scenarios that necessitate amending your federal tax return. So what are those situations? Sometimes wrong filing status. Sometimes accidentally we choose a wrong filing status, like a single instead of head of household. This can significantly affect your tax return and eligibility for deduction and credits. An amendment can rectify this mistake, so we can change it by amendment. Okay. Second thing is income errors. Let's say by mistake you underestimate or overstated your income in 1040, sometimes maybe twice. Or maybe you received additional income statement after filing, or just simply made a calculation error. Anything can happen, right? Sometimes you get your K1 late, and that also happens. So under any of the situation, amendment allows you to correct these discrepancies. One more is missing deductions or credit. Assume that you forgot to claim deductions for medical expenses, or education expense, or home office use, or maybe charitable contribution, anything. So amendment can help you claim this deduction also, and potentially reduce your tax liability. One more situation is dependent information. If you made an error regarding your dependents, such as claiming parents by your siblings, just by mistake, your siblings must have filed your parents, or claiming children by your ex-spouse and you may not know about it, or having incorrect social security number listed, amendment tax return can help you here too. Uh, then one more I can think of is a unclaimed deductible expense. Sometimes people missed out claiming deductible business expenses or other allowable deductions. Again, amendment allows you to include these expenses and potentially receive a refund. Then one more thing, that is IRS notices. Now, this can happen to any one of us. IRS might send you a notice or later highlighting discrepancies or missing information on your tax return. In this situation, amending your return can address these concerns and avoid further complications. Then one is, overlooked tax benefits. Sometimes we misclaiming valuable tax like child tax credit, or solar or electric vehicle, or foreign tax credit. Amending your tax return allows you to claim these benefits also. So believe me, this is your friend. This is very helpful. Now, what are the timelines and filing requirements? Uh, what is important to remember here is, do not file an amendment before IRS processes your original tax return. This is very, very important. You have to wait until you have to give some time to IRS to process your tax return, especially when you are expecting refund. Wait until you receive it before amending. Now, you may think that amendment is too good, and you are like, hey, Abhishek, let's amend my tax return from 10 years from now. And can we do that? No, you cannot do that. There is a time frame for amendments. You generally have 3 years from your original filing date to amend your return. However, if you have already paid any taxes owed, you can amend your tax return within 2 years of that payment date too. So in this scenario, whichever option allows more time is a deadline for you should use. So this either 3 years from the date of filing tax return, or from the 2 years from the payment date, whichever is later. So that's the arrangement here. Now, what form should we use to file an amendment? Use Form 1040X for amending your federal tax return. As I said earlier, for state tax amendment, you will need to use specific form designated by your state Department of Revenue. Do your research for the appropriate form for your state. You can go to your state TOR website and find the form very easily. One more thing, when you file electronically, include all the forms and schedules you used in your original filing. Even if they have not changed, for electronic filing, attach from Form 8879 for e-file signature authorization. This is also very important. Remember, this applies for federal tax return only, but without this attachment, they can reject your amendment. Okay, now let me share a good news with you. So, how many people like a refund to be deposited directly in their bank accounts? Personally, I like it because it's easy, correct? So, starting in 2023, you can request direct deposit for electronically filed amended tax return. So, if you are amending tax return for tax year 2021 and onwards, you can request your refund in your bank account directly. This eliminates the wait for paper checks and gets your refund back to you faster. Review by a revenue officer or reconsideration of an IRS decision. This all are the reason that may result in delay over 12 weeks. So, what's the conclusion here? Even though it will take more time, tax amendments offer you a chance to fix past mistakes and ensure accurate tax filing. They are like redemption they are like redemption arcs in a story. So, a chance to correct things and achieve a happier financial outcome. By carefully reviewing your tax documents and filing an amendment, if necessary, you can avoid penalties and ensure a smoother tax filing experience next year. One last tip that I would give you is following the rules and remember to keep a detailed records of your amended tax return. Once again, it is very important. And if you realize that you have made any mistake in your own tax return, then take the advantage of a CPA or tax filer, and they will definitely be able to help you on this. Gandhi, who will give you a better insight and will emphasize on some of the key points just in case if I missed any of them.
Thank
So,
you.
Anil,
Thank you very much,
over to
Abhishek.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Abhishek. As usual, you covered so well, covering from different dimensions. And in summary, so yes, we can amend our tax returns in the given time period. We do mistakes. We all are human beings. We do mistakes. We do miss few forms few times. A lot of times, what I notice is we miss form 1099B, okay, which is a which is the form which we receive from the stock brokerage account. We might be having some multiple accounts with multiple stock exchange companies, and we might be missing, or we might have received 1099s from few service providers, but we might have missed to include them when we file our original tax return. Then what happens? IRS will send a notice to you. Okay, in that case also we might need to do an amendment. So if you are missing, if you are realizing it that you are missing something, you missed something, don't wait for IRS to call you. So you just go voluntarily, add back those missing elements and amend your tax return and take required tax adjustments if required. And if you need to pay some taxes, please pay and close it proactively than reactively. So proactive approach is always recommended. And as usual, if you have any more questions on about tax amendments, tax returns amendments, feel free to post your questions in the comments box in any of our social media channels: Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter, okay, or Facebook. We are there. Here we are there for you. We are here for you to answer your questions. If you post questions in the comments box, even you are watching the recording session of this live stream. I'm waiting if anyone has any questions. Yep. Is car 100% depreciation approved? Hi Krishna. No, it's not yet approved. Still, the proposal is still holding at the Senate for the approval. So no, at the House for the approval. No, Krishna. Yeah, it's not yet approved. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer. I don't see any questions yet. Anyway, feel free to post your questions in our comments box either now or if you're watching it later. So anytime we are here for you for any feel free to reach us. Thank you very much. Again, next week, same time, Thursday afternoon, 12 p.m. CST, we'll come up with some new topic. And Krishna has a follow-up. 100% depreciation. Is there any ETA? Answer is no. As per my analysis, my own analysis, I don't think it is going to happen this year because the election is coming now. I don't think anything will happen before the election. But after the election, once the new government comes up, they may go for the approval, but it won't be this year. It may happen next year only. So my recommendation, if you are still waiting to file your tax returns, then move forward and don't wait for this amendment. Yeah. I don't think Krishna. No, I don't. At this point, I don't think it will get approved before September, as per my our internal analysis. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's connect next week at Thursday afternoon, 12 p.m. CST with some new topic. We are always here to share our knowledge with you. Thank you. Bye bye.